What it do, everybody? It's your boy King Crowder back again with another edition of History You May Not Know, or Things That Are Not Taught in Detail for Show. Today's lesson, we're going to focus on the great state of Georgia, and we're going to talk about an incident when an accusation was made and a gentleman was killed, murdered before he had any proof or any done. This happened during the summers of 19th century. Let's go dive into it. We're in Forster County, Georgia. September 1912, two separate attacks happened when a white woman made an allegation that a black man assaulted her. Again, if you look at the history around that time, there was no proof that the action actually happened. There was only her word against his. What was said that the brother attacked her and the person that attacked her was a black preacher. There was no proof. He was harshly beaten, and local law enforcement locked the preacher up overnight to protect him against the mob justice that was going on outside. Other black men related to the guy were arrested and moved to Atlanta because there was no safety along this allegation. Following the second allegation, it was made against a 16-year-old black boy who had sold him a minor crime. He confessed to the incident, saying it was theft, he was poor, didn't have the money, and what he was done was he was shot and beaten, and his body was hanged from a telephone pole. I want you to think about this. All of this happened in the night when mob justice had what they call night riders to terrorize black citizens and leave the towns black, beaten, or killed. It was saying that over 98% of the black residents in Forster County left until this day. This all happened after the Civil War. As we discussed previously in our channel, the Civil War was so much more than what we were taught back in school. Remember, even though the Civil War happened, people that were in the South, specifically white, immigrant and white Americans, still weren't happy about what was going on. Black Americans were at the height with them getting freedom, they were getting justice, and they were getting basic civil rights. So people in this area, specifically the poor ones, really had a problem with laws being passed to help disenfranchise black communities. So what they knew they could do was they could fight, kill, and murder with impunity. Many times in history, we always hear about black people not getting right, and we hear about the Civil War movement. What we do not do is we do not take a deep analyzation on what happened. What happened was the emboldenment, the lack of law, and the lack of resources being to protect it. As we saw on this night in Georgia, this was a black city in Forster County, 98% black. Now, there were mixed race individuals, there were lynchings going on throughout this county, but one minor accusation without any substantiating proof caused this town to multiple lynchings, shooting, robbings, and killings to enforce white supremacy's social cues, social fairs, and officially banning interracial relationships. Light-skinned scraped green and palms were historically known around this area. Many white owners, as we do know, had mulatto children. Mulatto children are mixed race ancestries that would happen to be the women of their former enslavement captain. Remember, if we go back to this court case we saw, it was a lady, an 18-year-old white girl, near Cummings area, said she was assaulted by a man. She had no idea who the man was he a preacher, anything about him. Only thing she could say was, I know it was him. Her word was enough to get a white mob to enter this town, attack the community, shoot, beat, blow up, burn down, arson, and multiple amount of crimes happen in this area with no law enforcement to step up. Let me say it again. Law enforcement could not predict the white majority because they wanted to attack this community. As we have discussed before, this was a matter of ethnic cleansing. If you are in Georgia, have you ever learned about this? Have you ever learned about these incidents happening that made these towns what they once were? All of the towns in the South were multicultural. If you do not learn, the Great Retreat made sure racial expulsion happened, running them off the land, taking their community, taking the free land that they had, and they had to move overnight. Gwinnett County around this area had more than 1,000 black people living in that area. White residents were in the next 4 months began to take all of the black residents and moving them all out. If you did not leave when they said it during this era, you were killed, you were murdered, and you were executed. They would use small, minute conflicts like this, such as the racial conflict in Folsom County, and make sure that they could take that land and go against what the government laws for. The government law was protection and equal. Everybody deserved their own right. We all learned about it in school. But as we see in history, We do not see the law being upheld to what it should be, and we see the Night Riders, the Ku Klux Klan, the Bag Hats, many different names in many different states having impunity of the law. As they began to move throughout these counties, they began to uproar anti-black sentiment. This is where you hear the words, "You don't deserve to live here. This is our county." Removing them from smaller cities and towns. Whistle expelled blacks from Fana, Gilmer, and Dawson. Look at the history records if you do not believe me. Check this area, and this is one of the largest areas in Georgia that had racial expulsion happen around 1912. Your family members probably lived there. Did you know this happened based off one accusation? It's your boy King Crowder coming at you again for another hot lesson. Hopefully you learned something today about the great state of Georgia and its complex history. I am here to not teach you one side of history. I am here to teach you the totality. Please make sure you smash, comment, like, subscribe to the channel. I want to make sure I make this very interesting to you because U.S. history is much more interesting than we ever knew because we've always learned his side. Now it's time to learn her side and the truth. Until next time, it's your boy checking out. Peace.